I'm shaking again. It's a good thing though. Let me get set up. We have been waiting for today for over a century. Okay, what is this? What is this? I'm totally shaking. Totally shaking. Okay, turn this on. No. Oh, I forgot. Okay, add this. Where's this? Where's this? Okay, that's good. Okay, but I want to turn on my monetization. Are you going to let me? My God, I'm still so shaky. On, please. Save. Ooh, you let me turn it on. It hasn't been quite so kind to me lately. Okay. Let's get to this. Okay, show me my life. Show me my life. Show me my life. Gotta mute this. Hi, you guys. How are you? Holy cow. Woo, what a day. Hi, Sophie, Marby, Rhonda, Stacy, Pammy Sue, Rebecca, Marie, Bev, Teresa, Rick, GMDave, Sharon Lee, T. Barb. Ooh, haven't seen you in a while. What a day, what a day, what a day. I can't catch my breath still. I'm still shaky. I still, like, when my throat gets parched and dry, or like I feel like I'm gulping air, it means like good things are happening. We knew good things were happening, but I wasn't expecting it to this degree right now. So much good is happening. I know you guys know. I was thinking about all of you right away. The minute I heard, I couldn't believe how loud I was screaming. I scared the dog, and then I just started bawling. And then I had to leave because spring athletics have started, and I've been on the run since then. But this has been such an exciting time. It's different, you guys. I promised you at the new moon in Aries, don't look back. It's a new world with infinite possibilities. And raise your hand. Who was with me with those new moon wishes with the Mer-Goats? Starting in November, who wished for justice for George Floyd and a change with policing and our laws? I've been trying to go back through the past lives. You guys, we worked so hard. I'm going through this. We worked really, really hard. And when I was realizing how hard we had worked, all of a sudden that image I was getting that popped into my head last week, because I knew we were having our new moon in Aries with the Mer-Goats, my fairies. And she handed me the reins and said, take it from here with the chariot. And like I had like this glove on, like white leather gilded, like kind of like a Roman style of material and draping and metals, or like ancient Greece. It was really cool. And so now I feel like we're all kind of technicolor, like in the chariot, not totally technicolor, but we've got our foot in the door. It's like our feet, the front of the chariot, our hands, we're pointed in the right direction. It's coming to fruition. And when we're driving this chariot, we cannot look back at all. Whew. And so I wanted to catch up today. I know I still haven't been able to do this quarter moon. It was overnight in the middle of the night. But today was so big. I could feel it coming at us. What I wanted to do today was catch up and show you guys where we've been and how all of these things are related. For those of you that have been with me for a while, you're going to fall off your chairs. This is going to knock your socks off when you start seeing this stuff. And those of you who started with me who knew nothing about astrology, you're going to be surprised at how much you actually know now just by virtue of listening. If you're new, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I totally do astrology and tarot different than most. I use them both. And I use the horoscope and I use lunations. And lunations in the charts I use... well, that's for a different subject. That's for a different time. But these are the major things down here that I'm going to touch on today that contributed today. Okay? How are you guys feeling? Let me know. And I think I've seen a lot of people might have been live today or already on this. I'll have the cards out if we want any more questions or ideas you guys might have. But let me check in really quickly. Yes. Oh, yes. Hit the thumbs up. I need to do that as well. Okay. Hi, you guys. Great, great, great. Yes, it was a good day for USA. Pammy, we are just getting started. Tomorrow I will go live. Oh, am I buffering? Oh, no. No, no, no. Oh, no. I'm just not caught up. Tomorrow I am going to go live. I want to get, the moon is about 11 degrees Leo right now, 10, 11. It's opposing Saturn. I want to get within 12 hours or so. What time is it? Yeah, hopefully by the noon hour central tomorrow. I want to pick up on our new moon wishes because talk about power, that's going to be really strong for us. And I'm getting struck clear direction that needs to be tended to because we did so much work. We got to keep going. Okay. Yes, feeling so thankful. Thank you, Jaybird. Good to see you too. Okay. So, and lastly, we've got a lot of planets in fixed signs. The moon is in Leo, opposing a stellium in Taurus, and some large planets in Aquarius. This is a jolt. It's a shock to your circulatory system and your body. So take it easy. Please keep taking. I know this is really, really exciting, but it's like we could almost burst into the stratosphere. And if our bodies aren't ready, you want to keep up and you want to stay hydrated and keep your minerals going. Your vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E, I think those are all Leo sun-related vitamins to consider. So do those things. That would be good. Okay. So where do I want to begin? This is so exciting. So today something happened, kind of newsworthy. Let me get some better light here. That's just not, okay, I guess we have to do it like that. And so, this was the quarter moon. Let's go over here. There's two charts from today that I want to look at. The jury actually came to their conclusion at 1:44 p.m. And then they were assembling everybody to get together so that we can do the actual announcement, which came, I had 4:07 p.m., that it came over in Minneapolis. This is the chart over Minneapolis. So I've highlighted here some things that were speaking to me of the importance of when they were making their decision. Most of all, and I, was able to get a video out this afternoon really quickly where I talked about how I was so pleased that the jury was receiving the case to deliberate when all these planets were in Taurus. You guys know how insane last week was with the news and what a fast pace everything was you could not keep up with it. You couldn't get a word in until like the narrative changed, and then we were off and running to someplace else. That would have been terrible to have the jury deliberate under those conditions. What happened since Friday and then overnight Sunday into Monday, thank goodness that, well, the sun went into Taurus. So Taurus is a stable, earthy sign. It takes in the senses. It slows down. It likes to stop and smell the roses. It doesn't like to move around a lot. It really likes to steep in comfort. It likes to steep in all of those senses, because all of those things that are important to a Taurus, that they can kind of luxuriate. I don't even want to use the words luxuriate. I just think it is such, I think this must be the feeling of non-physical when they wanted to create a physical experience. And what would that feel like with the senses? And it's just kind of makes the neurons tingle all over the body. And so that is really important to Taurus. Aries starts the zodiac season, and it charges forth with the entire zodiac. And it's almost like it says, here, I'm giving you all this stuff. Here you go. You're going to need this stuff. This is mine. This is who we are. These are our possessions. And we hang on to these things because they give us a sense of not only identity, but who we are and our worth, our self-worth, our values, our possessions. And these are the things that make us go and have a physical experience, just drenched in a fully physical experience. And so Taurus might be seen as materialistic because it's an earth sign. I see it as one of the senses and luxuriating and just wanting to sample all of it and just having a really refined sense of kind of what the better senses are, or what the more refined things are, which usually are things that are more expensive. But so here we are in this sign that has to do with all that we have, I possess. This is why I earn my money, and this is why I spend my money, because these things are important to me, and this is where my value, your values really come through this sign of Taurus, and it also has to do with self-worth. Are you worthy of what you want? Are you worthy of what you have? So there's this question by default that has to do with caring, nurturing the senses, and self-worth and validation. So the sun had just moved here. Mercury, thank goodness, slowed down and came to a walk instead of a full force run, gallop, sprint. We're just going to kind of walk along and just have a nice stroll. Mercury demands, that has to do with communications, that demands methodical practices, going step by step, making sure you've surveyed everything, and does it all fit with the senses, and does it fit with the values of who you are? So that's the other thing, that the jury was given this fresh Taurian energy at that pace with Venus. Venus rules Taurus. It's in its dominion. It is cooperative. It's loving. It's nurturing. It provides an atmosphere of comfort, getting along, not being an assholio. But the new parts, we have Uranus and Taurus. Uranus now is typically the ruler in Aquarius, an air sign. Uranus is not, I wouldn't say it's at its weakest point there, but Uranus is one of electricity. It is one of circulation. It is dynamic movement. Taurus isn't. It's earthy. But what Uranus does here is it is a pressure reliever. So all these things that have built up over time, where where our institutions, which is represented by Capricorn, another earth sign, where these things have built up and built up and built up, and this is the way we do it. Well, you know what? Uranus is here to say, we're going to relieve some pressure here. This is built up so much. We're just going to be kind of radical in how we do things. Things are changing. And so over here, we have all this luxuriating energy. It is in square to Saturn and Pluto. Over here, it is in square to this moon in Leo. So there's a lot of things happening here. What I liked about this chart in Minnesota at 1:44 p.m. when they decided, look at this, the 5th house of the sun, where the leadership is. The 5th house is like our president. It could be a state governor. But this group of people are really, they're kind of their own leading group. They're tasked with taking a leadership position on this and coming up with a decision. So you're looking at the 5th house right here, the 5th house of the sun, leadership. It's in Sagittarius, number 1, which has to do with law enforcement, the law, and the south node is there, meaning when we had our eclipses, the full moons are associated with the south node. The south node, we have a full moon. It means everything has climaxed. There's nothing more here. So what happens after a full moon is that it recedes away. So the south node is where we are releasing things. So we are releasing things here that have to do with law enforcement and the law, how we do things. We have a solar eclipse point there. That was releasing of a solar figure Don Julio back in December. Barr quit the next day. Everyone's releasing him. But the most important thing to me, this, you guys, this 5th house, there's a role here. This is part of Donald's war and Bill Barr's war. So at this 5th house cusp, where things are most powerful, we have 16 degrees Sagittarius. That is Donald's natal Wuhan. The Wuhan asteroid is a biatch. I liken it to the asteroid of war. It's destructive. It's related to 9/11, Pearl Harbor, the Spanish flu. When it comes in and it is poised and ready to be released, it unleashes destructive powers and we're forever changed. It was also very active with the deep freeze over Texas. So Donald's warring asteroid is here, right on that 5th house cusp. This was reference to the war he kind of started planning the insurrection. If we trace it back, that it started in December. So this is Donald's war. But hey, look at here, 17 degrees right here, right next to it. I said, the United States is picking a bone. This asteroid POTOMAC just retrograded. I said, we have some unfinished business and the USA defenses were going to come and it's turning back and it's looking at Donald's war, 16 degrees Wuhan. That is right here. We're releasing energies of the past. We're changing our patterns with law enforcement. We're defending the United States of America. We're giving up the way the person used to lead. And the reason why this is so relevant, you know, Eric Garland, the security guy on Twitter, I'm so glad I read him today, reminded me that actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but Derek was planning to plead guilty to 3rd-degree murder for like 10 years because the protests were so insane. But Bill Barr nixed that. He rejected him. And why was that? Because they wanted the outcry and the protests. They wanted to build a case. This was the perfect excuse for building up their case for Antifa that they were going to thrive on for the rest of the year to January 6th. There's more related there, but this is absolutely pulling in Bill behind bars, okay? This is when the jury, 1:44 p.m., decided on guilty for the first count. So we have this going on. We have Volcanos, which is a Uranian planet, which is basically like a volcano. Something's going to erupt. Something very powerful we're sitting on is going to erupt. It's this area of secrets, things you can't see. We're just kind of sitting on this. So this moon at that time was 6 degrees Leo. So when you look at, the other thing that happened, I loved this. Was it the Aries new moon? I can't remember. The other thing I pointed out was that Asteroid America, yes, Asteroid America, walked in. Now, where is USA chart? And she was going to be spending some time here. I was so happy because she just entered the scene in Aries. Well, here in the USA chart down here, this is our home base. These are our defenses. This is our most private area. It's our ancestors. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you are going to defend your home, you're going to do it. This is where the fighting takes place. You fight for your friends. You fight for your people. You fight for your home. America asteroid just waltzed in. I think she was conjunct Zeus at the new moon. But here's the thing. This jury got the case, and America was conjunct the Centaur asteroid, Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. It represents that which our pain, our deepest pain that we carry, that no one can solve. Like police reform can't solve this. It is the thing that only we can heal on our own. Look at Black Lives Matter, everything they've gone through, the pain that they have carried, and the determination to heal that. They got this case, and Asteroid America was conjunct the wounded healer and said, let's do this. We have unfinished business. So this is like the setup, and it gets better, you guys. Does that make sense to you? Let me check in real quick. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Marby, so much. Thank you. Oh, yeah. 34 more likes would be awesome. Yes, Connie, the lunar eclipse on 5/26 will be in Sag. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, good. So, and the sun at that point, at 1:44 p.m., it was 0 degrees, 54 minutes. That touched off the beginning of the end eclipse for Donald, way back when. We won't go into that. But what it did, and then when we found out this afternoon, now the sun was at 1 degree Taurus. And what is 1 degree Taurus? You've heard me talk about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You've heard me talk about why 2020 sucked donkey balls. It was awful. It was horrible, you guys. I've talked about that so much, and we were getting ready for that ahead of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. What is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction? You get two giant planets that come together, Saturn and Pluto. Typically, it happens every 35 years or so. But in 2020, the thing that made it so unique is that it was not only in the sign of Capricorn, it also had the planet Jupiter in the same sign, and Jupiter takes 12 years to orbit. And it also had Uranus in Taurus, in a fellow earthy sign. So when you look at all those variables, when you go back and go back and go back, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction has only happened 3 or 4 times. It happened around the fall of Rome. It happened at the end of the 13th Egyptian dynasty. When you look at all these factors, we're looking at like 7,000 years. And the reason why it is so potent is because in Capricorn, you're changing the structure and power of world governments, because Capricorn represents government. Saturn-Pluto has to do with restructuring and destruction and new structures. So that is why 2020 sucked so badly. And this conjunction happened in Donald's 5th house of the sun. He had such a disgusting overconfidence in what he could do, but this was happening in his chart where it would happen for a dear leader. This is why he thought he was dear leader. He thought he was all that. Well, when this happened back on January 12th, it happened 2 days after an eclipse, so we've got eclipse energy in there as well. The sign that was on the ascendant, on the eastern horizon, the thing that gives life to this chart, like when you were born and you took your first breath, that's your horoscope. Your first breath coming into life is what gives life to a chart. And then you always strive for your highest achievements. That's the midheaven. So the sign coming over the eastern horizon, so the sun that day went this way, it hit its peak midday, and then it set in the west. I cannot believe this. The sign on the eastern horizon was Taurus. 1 degree, you guys. 1 degree is Taurus. What happened today? Where was the sun? It was 1 degree Taurus. This absolutely, we changed the structure and power of our governments. And the first huge case that came in and what we're changing happened while the sun, the life force, the center of our universe, hit the ascendant and said, ta-da, I'm here, what are we doing? And not only did that set off Uranus for sudden shocking news in the east, well, Midwest, the moon that day was in Leo. It was in freaking Leo. So this was already written in the stars. We knew last January 12, 2020, there was going to be a change in structure and power in our government and world governments. Last year sucked, but here's the thing. It's a good thing we did not, this Saturn-Pluto conjunction happened late in Capricorn. Capricorn would not have a new moon with this new structure until just this past January. So thank God Donald was out, because if he got a new moon with this restructured energy, we would have been toast. We would have never, it would have been totally bye-bye. We would have never returned. But he didn't. We pulled ourselves back from the brink with this election. This was not a fluke, you guys, because not only did this happen, we had that thing called the Great Conjunction, the Christmas star. Remember that? The first day of winter, we had the powerful winter ingress. We had a quarter moon, and we had this thing called the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, the Christmas star. That too, that happens like every 20 years. But this particular one happened in the air sign Aquarius. We hadn't seen that since like the year 1100. So again, we just came off our new moon of this 7,000 year new moon Saturn-Pluto. And then the next month, we had a new moon that cemented the Saturn-Jupiter, the Christmas star. And what did the Christmas star promise? Well, in Aquarius, where am I? in Aquarius, it promised, that's like the rise and fall of leaders and royalty. It's, hello, Prince Philip. Rest in peace. It was time. Aquarius is the sign of humanity, humanitarian efforts, our friends. It's our better selves. Unless we're Mitch McConnell, then you like turn the dark side to it. But generally speaking, Aquarius does really wonderful things for humanity. It's empathic. It sees us as the whole. It fights for networks and its friends. So not only did we have the benefit of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, what happened, that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, well, that, wait, what does this say? That, it's over here, was at 0 degrees Aquarius. That's the other thing that made it so unique, is that it was right at 0 degrees Aquarius. I mean, that is top fuel, the purest fuel going forth to do this job. 0 degrees Aquarius. And today, guilty on all 3 counts, the sun was in square to that 0 degrees Aquarius point. And when you have squares, it's tension. It provides enough tension. So what happened when this jury received the case to go to deliberations, they were swimming in this milky, wonderful, lovely, earthy, sensuous energy that was calling to them and who they are and what's important to them and what their values are, the things that they take with them. It also asked them, is his life worth it? They were really asking about life and death questions, and is he worth it? Because the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees was activated again with this sun at exactly 90 degrees. It is the thing on the wall that maybe they could not even verbalize, but it was the thing that was the foundation for their arguments and their decisions. Was it based in humanitarian efforts? Is this for the greater good? It's we the people. It was such a striking look at reality. And I sensed that things would go well because of the demands energetically that was being placed upon this jury, that it really was providing enough tension to get the job done, and it was so grounded in reality that they couldn't be talked out of what their eyes were seeing. Seeing, that is one of the senses, belongs to Taurus. Rhetoric cannot change that. They were methodical. So those are the things that went into today's verdict. This is long-standing. We are in a new world. Don't look back. It is so lovely that this is one of the new things that we have manifesting so quickly. And it is such a relief. I was really kind of tired there for a while because I could just feel the relief coming off my body. And I will tell you that Don Holio and all of them, they are pissed. They realize they have a flat tire, that they cannot do much to try to influence a different outcome. I was kind of, now, if you guys follow, I know I've talked about Eric Arland, but I know I've talked about, Chris Vickery, who's like what is he? A data breach hunter? What is it? Is it Vickery Sec? This guy is brilliant. He's cracked so much stuff just looking at code. But he had a thread tonight, and he said, you guys, this might sound crazy. Just like I sounded crazy this past weekend when I was like, okay, let's get ourselves together, figure out what's going on. This was Sunday night before we start into this weekend because it was a really, really difficult week. And I was telling you what I was seeing was that all of these pew, 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 the shootings, they were different this time. There were so many of them on a given day. And there was the byline that kept cropping up with them. It's believed that they're not a threat to the community. This is related to gang stuff. I'm like, since when do we get so many bylines of what the narrative is? Like, don't really worry about it. Which cued me off that all of those shootings on Sunday, I lost count after 7 or 8 because it was just ridiculous, went hand in hand with how many times the former guy in his administration would stage crap on the weekends. People would march and then they would be so disappointed. I mean, look at how hard we had to march to preserve the ACA, or even against Kavanaugh and ACB, where really they should have listened to us, and then it was such a letdown. I was feeling, and the cards were showing me, for entertainment purposes only, it was kind of like that. This stuff was kind of being provoked through micro-targeting, so to speak, to get people worked up for Monday, for deliberations, so we could have all this drama and protests and then be gutted when a not guilty verdict would come in. But it never came in. And I think Donald and Bill Barr, all of them were expecting that. That's what all this garbage was this weekend. So Vickery Security had a thread tonight. He's like, I know I'm going to sound crazy, but I'm like, holy crap. Are you watching my videos? Because I've done some videos on mass shootings, ones in Texas and Ohio. What's going on with the micro-targeting? How are these shooters getting picked? Why are people deciding to go out and be like, it's my turn, be the soldier? And why do they do it when they do it? And he traced it all back in his language with micro-targeting and Cambridge Analytica, la, 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 la. That was behind the scenes. And it was validating for me because that's what I've been picking up since 2019. But it was nice to hear someone else read it out loud. And when I start picking up energy like that, and now I'm seeing it through security people like this talking about it in really cohesive manner, you better bet that our government and intelligence has got something on it. Let me check in with you guys really quickly. Oh, God, I didn't get to go to... Okay, we'll do this one. And then I want to talk about... We're going to do Juneteenth. And then this quarter moon has a secret in it. I'm excited for it. Let me check in with you guys. What about Mueller? Yeah, it's interesting that keeps coming up, the Mueller report. It is just popping up all over the place. Oh, yes, Connie Brown. And what about Mueller? When he was going to testify, was at July 2019? July 24th? Or was it August 24th? I think it was July 24th. Build up. Mueller's testifying. And then, boom, those were the shootings. Texas and Ohio. Mass shootings. I think it was on that Friday night, Saturday. And I think, was it Elijah Cummings? Or was it their house got broken into in Baltimore? And all MSNBC talked about that weekend was it John Lewis, about how he's racist. And then Donald said John Lewis is racist. And so what happened? They stole the narrative with drama, let down, talk about racism, pin it back on John Lewis. They're the racists, and then not a peep about Mueller testifying, except that he looked old. It's how they do it all the time, every single time. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Omaha, that was at the same one, right? There were so many cities. There was Omaha, there was Ohio. There was Chicago, 2 in DC. I think there was another one in Minnesota. There were a lot this past weekend. And then today happened, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if they broke. Yeah, I think it was pretty intense. And I will tell you, well, let me get another drink. So when this case started, I know I had tweeted about it, that there was a juror that I was concerned about. There was just too much anxiety around them. I'm like, I don't know if they're a mole or someone got to them, but I'm like, there is someone there that could be a problem because the anxiety was way off the charts. Well, ended up the next day, they said there was a woman, I don't think she fainted. I think she threw up and they had to recess for like an hour. And it was just too much stress. She wasn't sleeping. The stress was getting to her about it. And then after that, everything was quiet. But then since this weekend, the past week, I could like sense Don Julio, the former guy, and his mofos, people on the ground around there trying to provoke stuff. And then I was getting worried about another juror that was maybe being influenced. I don't know. But then it was like I could see in my mind's eye, like these guys were like guffawing and slapping their knee, laughing so hard. Look at this, look at that, like elbowing each other. Like, we got this. But then all of a sudden today, I think it was in the morning or midday, even last night, they all turned very solemn. So I just thought that was interesting. Let's talk about Juneteenth. This, I think, actually got its start in Juneteenth, you guys. I'll tell you why. So, Juneteenth was the day, June 19th, Galveston, Texas, 1865, when the slaves found out that they had been, through Emancipation Proclamation, they were freed, even though that happened a couple of months ago. Now, I put 12 o'clock here, noon, because I had no idea what it was, but I just wanted to at least get a feel for what the chart would be like. Well, here's the thing that is so telling. There's a bunch of things. First, the sun is at 28 degrees Gemini. Mars right now is 27 or 28 degrees Gemini. Uranus, could you imagine that sudden shocking news? You're finally free. I mean, I would faint. The sun conjunct Uranus. I'm free. I mean, what a combination. 29 degrees Gemini. We had a new moon solar eclipse on the first day of summer last year. The sun was 0 degrees Cancer. The north node was 29 degrees Gemini. So that kind of activated it with some other things. The other things that were happening back that day, what do we have here? Look at this. On Juneteenth, Jupiter in its dominion, 23 degrees Sagittarius, retrograde. Okay, 23 degrees Sagittarius might sound familiar. This is United States galactic center in its chart. You know, the black hole, the birth of the sun, that massive black hole in the middle of our galaxy. Jupiter was right there, wide open, and heard the call and knew the news. We just had that new moon solar eclipse releasing a solar figure, releasing Don Julio. But on the day, May 25th last year in Minnesota, when Chauvin decided to do whatever he's going to do, we also had a lot of planets retrograde. back then. Remember, we had Mercury retrograde. We had Venus retrograde. We had Mars. Mars was going to retrograde. But the Mercury-Venus retrograde was really difficult because when Venus, you know, she's got to go to sleep every couple of years and take a nap and rest up. The world does not feel like a loving place. It does not feel like you have friends who care about you. With Mercury retrograde, now you have communications going crossways. And now it's like in these late degrees of Gemini, who's the teenager of the zodiac, it can really run roughshod and turn into fisticuffs. It can turn into protests. Protests can go sideways really quickly. And that's what happened. At the time in May, when we talked about the Venus retrograde, I was saying this is going to be a hard time, you guys. It's not going to feel like love. It's going to feel like things are getting exploited because for this Republican Party, when they are behaving badly, they do their worst legislation when Venus is retrograde. That's when you get the most anti-choice, most restrictive laws against abortion, and their most restrictive things about civil rights, and they go on their worst misogynistic attacks. It is just one thing I cannot stand about that party with the Venus retrograde. But because of everything we were going through, Venus retrograde, it's not strong. So whatever they used to do out of habit to fortify the way they cover up, they exploit Venus to cover their crap up. Like, we're going to exploit our belief in philosophy and religion to say why we should be pro-life. But when you pull the veil back and Venus is not strong, you see really what's going on under there. It's not about that. It's because it's their biggest fundraiser. They make up so much money for that. They get their biggest bang for their buck. And now you see how Venus is operating in terms of money and what you're doing to women and how you really value human life. So last spring, the veil got pulled back. The communication got pulled back. It was really ugly in Lafayette Square. It was horrifying what they did to George Floyd. Horrifying. No value of life. The North Node on May 25th was 29 degrees Gemini. Mercury was retrograde at 12 degrees. It now is at around the same place from Juneteenth, meaning we're revisiting this now. This is all getting activated. One of the most impressive things to me is that Derek in his chart, his Mars, this little nasty mofo, I believe it was 29 degrees Pisces. So it was in square to the North Node. It was, and Mars was 29 degrees Pisces that day. Where is this? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I missed. Okay. I'll write this down. So actually, it's his sun was at 28 Gemini. His Mars. So I am sure that Derek felt like he was on a mission. He was a soldier. Because on that day, May 25th, transit Mars was 29 degrees Pisces. That gives energy. It gives defense. Pisces with this Republican, these guys, this is where they do their worst gaslighting. This is where they lie and they cover up stuff and project it onto someone else. Well, that energy was conjunct his sun. He was super energized. Pisces also has to do with the sacrifice. It has to do with I can't think of this word. You guys know what this word is. the person who's being sacrificed, the martyr. So I think he had a lot of martyr energy going on. And it was further activated by the fact that we were just days, well, we were in eclipse territory. And the North Node is over here squaring his sun into Mars and provoking him like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Because I'm sure he can feel this Juneteenth energy. I don't think he likes Juneteenth. Energetically, he was born with a propensity to very much dislike it. And, you know, probably make up lies on how these people do it to themselves or whatever. But that's established there. And I feel like he just sat there and sat there and sat on him because this Mars was provoking his sun. And his own Mars is in square to this. It's almost like he was having a contest with himself to see what he could get away with, especially in Pisces. But here's Juneteenth, here to stay. And little did Bill Barr know, he was in the midst of a Saturn-Pluto conjunction all year long. He was more consumed by the Jupiter-Pluto, which is militaristic stuff. That was a conjunction that day, which is, when you get Jupiter and Pluto together, that is all about war and guns and tyranny, especially in Capricorn. They were just stoked in their egos and power. So gross. So that Juneteenth was revived with all of this, and you had an actor. And it was time. There was so many cosmic forces happening beyond just today. People might just want to trace it back today. It's like, no. This has been going on for thousands of years. We've had it was cemented Juneteenth, 1865. We got a problem here. We're happy to be free, but this just does not feel fair. Look at that. Law enforcement, excessive. This would be excessive law enforcement. This would be expansive, excessive law enforcement. Turned inward. Now you're getting into with extremists, and you're getting extreme philosophies, exactly opposite the Juneteenth. It's like they could not win this tension, and then they're caught in the crossfires of this Mars square moon. And whatever help they could get this way or this way, it's like they're caught in the crossfire all the time. But it finally happened. We broke through a barrier permanently today. Just amazing. Just amazing. So all that happened. How are you guys doing? Yes. Okay, you guys are doing good. Now, I am going to just make a brief comment about this horoscope, this first quarter moon that was over Washington, D.C. Of course, there's a lot of stuff going on here. The planets are beneath the horizon. We can't see what's going on. We certainly can feel a lot what's going on. But what I like so much about this is the way that it highlights Joe Biden, President Biden's chart. His chart. Do I have it? I'm just going to say a couple things. I'm not going to go off on and on and on. Oh, it's inauguration. Show me Joe Biden. Show me Joe Biden. Nope. Okay. Do I have a better one? Oh, Biden's speech. Okay. I just want to concentrate on this little part here. See that little piece of pie there? That's the area of secrets. How he reflects. How he rejuvenates. How he spends his time pondering things. He has a Scorpio sun, so his sun is there. I mean, that's his faith. It's also his faith. His Mercury is there in Scorpio, so he scrutinizes a lot of things in his private time. Venus is there, his values, the worth. He thinks very deeply about these things, but the thing is, these things are all hidden. He's a rising Sagittarius. He talks a lot. He's full of life, big ideas. He's a lawyer. I think this midheaven, the top of the chart from this quarter moon, is 28 degrees Scorpio. That is where his natal Venus is. Remember, I was talking about Venus at the beginning. It has to do with the things that you have, where you have your values, how you invest your money, your income, your gains. Well, his values, the things that he finds worthy, at the top of the chart in Washington, D.C. And not only is his Venus there, the asteroid, he was born with the asteroid Moscow, conjunct his Venus. He has thought long and hard for decades about money and Moscow and being a lawyer at our government. I feel like with this chart, secrets are kind of going to come out. His Venus and Moscow are at the top of this chart, in the skies for everyone to see. This area is the law. Its lands far away. But because of Moscow, I'm thinking Russia. I think there's Russia stuff that is coming out. I just wanted to at least talk about that. Things are happening. I don't know what exactly. Then when I threw my fancy astrology dice, again, so much stuff with law enforcement this week, with the Russia investigation. Neptune came up as significant, who he is. Neptune, for me, more and more, that's just Donald. His bullshittery, it's just Donald. And then what else came up? Oh, the fifth house of the sun, who he is and actions he's going to take. Those are the most prominent parts. Now, why does Bill Barr? Bill Barr keeps coming up too. Let's read on Bill Barr. Death? Endings? I want to know, why did Bill Barr... Derek Chauvin was going to plead guilty in exchange for 10 years, just to get people to stop protesting. Bill Barr rejected that. And didn't you kind of have the feeling like Chauvin kind of was expecting he's going to get something else instead? I don't think Donald wrote him a pardon, but I feel like there's kind of a sense about him I'm not worried, it's okay, I got something on the side that's going to work out for me. It's kind of the feeling that I have. What do you guys think? Yes, he was a fool. Yes, for entertainment purposes only. So, which way does this go? I was just thinking, why does Bill Barr keep coming up? This just flapped out. So this is disorder and hurt, mortality. Well, we're just going to do these two. I want to show me Bill Barr. Why does he keep showing up? Why does he keep showing up in relation to the United States government in this Chauvin case? Why does Bill Barr keep showing up? Oh, I can't get this. It doesn't want to go this way or this way. It's just, well, that's weird. What's he covered in? Okay. The United States government Bill Barr. What the heck is going on, U.S. government? Why does he keep showing up? What are you guys working on looking at? U.S. government. It's a foundation. What's crowning all them? Oh, God. I just was asking my mind, how does Bill Barr bridge back to this? And I just got like a bunch of cards, like at least 3 cards. He did this, and he did this, and he, did this, And the U.S. government is looking at, bam. Disorder, hurt, heartache, the full reversed. Now, so my reversals with the former administration lately have been showing up more as what they've tried to cover up or things that have been infected, things they're trying to get away with or hide. So we have the full reversed, which this has always been my card for indictments. Yeah, in my yes cards, that means they are the pinpoint person for this, the person with the idea or the person who has to take care of it. We've got the yes card reversed. I feel like this is more of a cover-up because, you guys, it's a double cover-up. The yes, he got the yes no card. My no card is like, if that's with a card like this, that means you're supposed to dispose of the heartache. When you get the yes no card, you're responsible for creating something and doing the cover-up. So what is this about? Stealing and theft. That's what's on the bottom. So there's something with some sealed indictments and Bill behind bars cover-ups that has to do with theft. They're going to have to forfeit stuff anyway. But Bill is sideways. Oh my God, you know what this is? He's sideways because he's holding these pentacles together like in a straight line. You guys, for hacking, for example, for entertainment purposes only, the 2 of Pentacles has been like related to solar winds because when you have cables of information, data, pentacles are data. Somebody just yelled. Pentacles are data. And the cables go 2 ways. So I think this has to do with hacking and holding stuff in both ways. The data that goes back and forth. This he is very haunted by. This is a big problem. You better believe it's a big problem. Oh my God, the United States government. Yep, they're on it. They got their rules. They're getting things in order. Where the hell did everything go? Holy crap. Like at one point, this was like missing PPE. This is money. It's data. He's in trouble, you guys. This links back. What are they targeting him with? Being a spy. Being a freaking spy, you guys. Because he did this. He made how Donald became president. All the judges that, the things that were covered up, the rulings that were quashed, and how he got to the White House. And all the favors he did, I think, from abroad, you know, like, because Putin's the one that decided what the part. They're looking at that stuff. Because he broke the rule of law. The Queen of Swords, this is a nation and her rules. It could be a hacker from North Korea, namely KY Jelly. I don't know her name, KJU's sister. For entertainment purposes only. Crowning. Holy shit, you guys, this Page of Pentacles keeps showing up everywhere. So the Page of Pentacles is the person with the data, with the money. Who are these people? Sorry. First of all, who's this Queen of Swords? What do they do? Who's this Queen of Swords reversed? Who's Who's this Queen of Swords reversed? We have... Okay, so these are not only lies. This is usually an attack. They've inserted the malware. Swords from Angry Putin. There you go. Donald. Okay. Yeah, this is the conspiracy, I think, that was made to, hey, the cables are open. Why don't you hack us? I think that's what that is. What's crowning both of them? Who's this Page of Pentacles? Money laundering, tit for tat, Donald. Money back and forth to pay for the Four of Swords. This is like my, what did he say? Stand back and, you know what he said to Proud Boys? Stand back and stand by. I think they're looking at him and recruiting the monies that went to pay for this. What happened on January 6th. Wow. That's why he keeps popping up. I'm telling you, it's just eerie how he keeps popping up. And this, too. And we haven't really heard a lot about the insurrection in the news lately, which is kind of weird, right? Because that's all we heard about, right? What else were we looking at, you guys? Mercer. Let's check in with Rebecca Mercer. What's she up to? Can you believe that freaking Parlor's back? The app is on Apple again. Ah! Apple supposedly said, we'll let you back on because you're going to, I guess, manage your hate speech in your forum. So they're going to like self-patrol. So I guess technically maybe they have to give them that because they're going to get their butts sued. Otherwise, if they don't get a chance, I don't know. I don't care. It's just gross. What's going on with Rebecca Mercer? I have not read on Five Head in so long. Five Head, because she's got a really huge forehead. Five Head. What's Five Head up to these days? She's fighting. What's she fighting about? Oh. She's fighting about the past, her little Page of Cups. The Page of Cupsies, this could be, you know, like the Trump kids. It could be like someone who has the data and runs some ops to help out with propaganda. It's really hard pulling things along. I think she knows that she's in for a problem. So Rebecca Mercer, I rarely see you with this Five of Wands. Usually she's all pentacly and full of herself. What is going on with you? What is on your mind? She's caught up. She's absolutely caught up in whatever. Yes, she is. Oh, who's on the move? Someone's on the move. She is crowned by someone, something on the move. Oh, who's this? The Nine of Pentacles, her comfort. She's a spy. She's got a, I wonder if she's moving things around. The Nine of Pentacles, Page of Swords, the Two of Wands. So she's thinking about how she's moving things around. In the past, she ended some things. Yes, things came to an end. Donald came to an end. Putin, Knight of Cups, cover up. She's trying to, what are you covering up? She's trying to cover up that she, helped with the spy, with the insurrection and the propaganda, and used that against people with China. So, wow, she used to feel so big and so full of herself in readings from the past. She just you know, just feels like she's trying to hide. What's her challenge? He's trying to get a plan to get going off the ground. She's covered. She is just spinning her wheels. She is aimless. Okay, universe, how do you see Mercer? A profiteer. The mafia. Always has to get her way, but the environment for her is very burdened. Very burdened. She's just trying, Knight of Wands, hoping that she can just stay under the radar. Nobody will really notice her. She's afraid people are going to realize all the crap she did with this Magician reversed. Her next steps is she's just going to like cut off some agreements, try to cover the evidence. Whoops. In the end, it's all a matter of timing. Her fortune, her destiny, news with the Russia, how she worked with them, and money. How, so is this here? Well, what's on the bottom? Oh, she's trying to get away with stuff. She's still at it. Still doing the same thing. But like, you know, that reading that I did today about those ventilators that were in the landfill, they're all trying to cover their tracks right now, I think, because they were just kind of really careless and didn't think they would get caught. But a year later, someone's trying to cover up evidence with ventilators in landfills in Florida. Nuts. So anyway, moving Bitcoin. There you go. There you go. Okay. Anything else? Is any of this tied to Mueller's report? Remember, Mueller's report is really caught up in stuff. It's kind of like a landmine trying to get it. Again, I thought that Vanita Gupta was approved, confirmed today. No. So I just feel like until Merrick Garland gets his senior staff put into place, this stuff is just kind of waiting, hanging out. Okay. Elaine Chao, really? She's so gross. Okay. Let me just rub my... Let's look at the Elaine Chao. I need some ghosts. I don't even want to use these cards. She's feeling very ghosty to me. Where's my ghosts? Here's the ghosts. Now, Elaine Chao, I remember her having a lot of, I think, Leo energy in her chart. Mitch McConnell has a lot of Aquarian energy in his chart, and he is getting his butt kicked with all these, with Taurus and Aquarius facing off. And last I read about Elaine Chao is that she can't get a job. She can't get on a board. Usually when people leave an administration, they're able to get, have prestigious board positions handed to them that where they make millions of dollars and nobody wants to pick her up. Can't say that I blame them. So what is... She's got some problems, you guys. We have the Four of Pentacles. She's really kind of digging in, trying to hold her ground. Do I have the four? We have the High Priestess. She's covered in secrets. She's got some major problems. These are her major problems. But this last one, this is going to be the United States government. It's the people who she affiliates with, the Six Wands mob. what she's done with them. The Six Wands mob, not only Trump, Putin, Unji, Netanyahu, MBS, all them, but you add the likes of like a Zuckerberg and social media. The basis of this are the judgments, reversed. Bill behind bars, I think, sunk a case. Those judgments. Crowning this problem is the Nine of Cups, a Trump campaign syndicate. Yeah. Oh well. What's her challenge? The Knight of Cups, everything she did for Donald. Going back and forth with whoever, with that transportation money, with the China. Her second problem would be the Queen of Wands reversed. Queen of Wands with these guys has to do with the nation of Russia. She's trying to cover up all the stuff that she did to help the Putin, the Russia. Because at the basis of this, she, 10 of Pentacles, trying to cover up everything she did with the Trump administration and all of those dictatorship family type of things around the world. What's crowning her is the Star. Now, this might be the insurrection. She so-called quit during the insurrection, but I think it's because she's like, it's time for me to leave. The Star. Yet, I think the Star mostly still is the insurrection. It's been showing us something else, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Her challenge is strength. She's not strong. She has too much Russian strength crossing her. So she can't turn back on the Russia. She can't turn back on Putin. I think he's demanding that, hey, we have an agreement here. Let's keep this on the down low. But she's obliged to them. Her third problem is the government. A chaotic government. The crap she left. How she left the Department of Transportation. A mess. God, she's as bad as Pompeo. Basis of the God, gross. Three of Cups, because of all the conspiracies she had between herself, the U.S. government, and I'm going to say the China, but even contracts that were handed out. Three of Cups reversed. A lot of crap she did, even with COVID, using COVID as an excuse. Crowning her, the Queen of Swords. It's reversed, so I'm only going to assume that this is the same thing that was going on with Bill behind bars. Hacking. Another nation's laws. Man. Her challenge is the Four of Wands. The White House. The current White House. She's got some big problems because she left a mess behind. And now the United States government is looking at her like the King of Cups. Really, Putin? You and Putin? The government is looking at her. We have no love or support or regard for you because you did what with Putin? Looking at her, between her and the Russia for entertainment purposes only. Basis of this, we have, there you go, the Ace of Pentacles. The opportunities, the new ventures she was promised. The Ace, I always draw another card with my aces. We have the Lovers. The Lovers. Reversed. The government is looking at her and the new ventures she had, and she is trying to cover those up. It's crowning. The government looking at her. The Devil reversed. The Devil reversed. So, you know, it could be Donald, it could be Putin, it could be Bill behind bars. Any of them. Any of them. And the government's challenge, please no challenges. What's your challenge, Government Chao? The Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles usually is like agency money, agency contracts. Her institution that she ran. She made a mess of it. What's the final outcome with Chao, Calgon Chao, And that was from a chat a long time ago. What's the challenge for her with the United States? What's the outcome with her in the government? So, ooh, it doesn't want to show me. Can you show me something? It won't show me. I can't see. I got to know on that. That's what's going on, you guys, with Elaine Chao. Can you believe her? How are you guys doing? Yep, exactly. Okay. Well, you guys, you know what? I think I'm going to call it quits here. I just wanted to get back on track. I want to at least get this documented on the astrology that's been going back since Juneteenth. With the events of today, this stuff is set in stone. It's not going anywhere. We are in a new era. Nobody can change this. We're not going back to the old. This is really great. And so tomorrow, I am planning to go live to do new moon contracts because it's going to be a really lovely time to do it. It'll be midday. At some point, it might be kind of sloppy. We'll see what the cards are saying we should be intending. Because we've done kind of a great job. I was going back the last couple months, and the stuff that we've manifested so far is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, okay? So you guys have a great evening. I'm so happy to be with you guys. Thank you, Pammy. Thank you, Bonnie. Yes, be safe, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Holly. Holly, thank you. Yes, please post your quarter moon stuff underneath this video because I don't think I'm going to have a chance to do the whole thing, but at least I have the chart. I mean, this is it. Okay? Good night. See you later. Bye.